Good morning. Happy Monday. We are live, I think. It's always a little slow here on the old Facebook world, but I believe that we are live. Yes, we are. I just received confirmation. Welcome, everybody, to day one of the 5-day work-life balance challenge. I am so dang pumped to get started with this. This is the first challenge I've done in a while, and so I'm super excited to be bringing these back in to the Facebook group. So, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Jamie Rotner, and I am the creator of our group, Moms with Spark. So I would love it for those of you who are joining me live, just put hashtag live in the comments. If you're watching on replay, just do hashtag replay. I always like to see who's joining. And I would love for you all also to just say hello. Where are you watching from? I am here in Windsor, Colorado, which is about, well, it's right next to Fort Collins if you're familiar with Colorado at all. And it's where Colorado State University is, which is about an hour north of Denver. So that's where I'm at. I am loving our weather right now. It's warming up. It feels like summer. I'm super excited about it. Hi, Terry. So good to see you. I'm just trying to find the live dashboard's all new, so I'm trying to find the comments here. So good to have you on. So yeah, say hello whether you're watching live, where you're watching from. I'd love to kind of get to know those of you who are new to the group. We have lots of new people in our group, and I'm so excited about it. So just to give you a little bit of background about me before we dive into what this challenge is going to be all about and then get into our first day challenge action step, is just to give you a little background about myself. If you are new to the group, you may have seen the intro video. I think it's pinned at the top of the group. So I am a mom, and I'm also very career-driven woman. I have two careers. One is a university instructor. I teach in human development and family studies. I've been doing that for over 10 years. And I am definitely passionate about teaching, and that whole field is just super fascinating, never gets old. But about 3 years ago, I stepped into coaching. So I have since been certified as a health, life, and mastery transformational coach. It actually all started because I was dealing with my own health issues and life issues around 8-9 years ago. And, you know, through my journey of healing, I realized that I really wanted to pull this into my life and be able to support other women and really hopefully help them before they have the effects that I did, which was basically hitting complete rock bottom. And so today, what I'm really passionate about is working with moms who are also career driven, have a job, or is trying to build a business or do have a business, and really are wanting it all for themselves and not wanting to have to sacrifice their health and their happiness to have it. Again, we're a new generation of women who want a career, who want to be entrepreneurs, but we also want to be amazing moms and amazing partners and be healthy and have hobbies. And it's 100% possible. But a lot of us don't know where to start and how to make it happen, because a lot of us don't have those types of role models that did, kind of blaze those types of paths. So that's where my passion lies. And obviously this is through my own challenges with this as well. But as I've worked with women over time, I've recognized, how needed this is, for women. So that's a little bit about me. And so just to kind of give you an idea of what we're doing. So every morning I'm going to hop on at 9 Mountain Standard Time, which is an hour behind Central, 2 hours behind Eastern, an hour ahead of Pacific. And I'm going to be providing you each day with a tip or a step that is going to move you towards greater balance. I'll discuss why it's important, how it helps you achieve a greater balance in your work and life. And your job is to implement that step each day. And if you don't have it already, I put it in the events, the event notes or comments, I guess. There is a workbook that you can work along with. And actually, I will go ahead. Let me just put, let me see if I can do this easily. I was going to put it in the chat for those of you. Yeah, there we go. I'll just stick it in the chat here. I believe I can do that. There we go. That way you can access the workbook. You don't necessarily need it right now during our live, but you're going to want it each day to kind of build and go through your action steps. So that will help you and just kind of keep you on track. The other thing I'm going to be doing is posting a check-in at the end of each day to track your progress, to provide you with support. And the other cool thing is if you attend each live or the replay and you make at least one comment, and then you check in at the end of the day on those progress reports, you'll be entered to win an Amazon gift card. So definitely, engage. I'm going to be asking questions along the way. I love to engage and interact with you with this. If you are watching this on the replay, eventually, just know that the replays will be available. I'm going to be pinning them to the top of our group. So if you're not able to join live, or you're going to want to start it, in a couple of days or the week after, you 100% can. It's going to be available for you there. So that's awesome too. And I know you all are busy, so I'm going to try and keep my daily lives under 10 minutes. I can't promise everything in the world, but I'll do my best. Some days you'll see will be longer than others. Like today is longer because, it's the first day. But I usually try and keep it 10, 15 minutes at the most. So this challenge will go through Friday. And I just want to also let you know that I will be offering a great opportunity about midway through if you're looking for deeper support and transformation. So definitely be tuned in for that as well. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started and kind of dig into what you're here for, right? Is to create a greater work-life balance. So if you're here, you might be dealing with burnout, you might be dealing with exhaustion, you might feel like your work has taken over your life. Maybe you feel like you're not as present, for the people that you love. Maybe you're noticing your health is being affected because you're just running like a chicken with your head cut off, trying to do all the things. And maybe it just feels like, life is passing you by. You're not having enough fun. You're not engaging in your hobbies. You're just feeling like you're just mowing through your days and just trying to get everything done. So my goal is by the end of Friday, and if you implement each step, you'll have a nice framework to be able to step towards a fulfilling career, business, and a meaningful life without sacrificing one for the other. How does that sound? Give me a heck yeah, I'm in, I'm ready, whatever it is that you're feeling. Because I know for many of us women and moms, we have a lot of things that we're juggling, right? We are, oftentimes the one that kind of steers the household. We might be the ones that are primarily in charge of the children. We might be, again, building a business and we're trying to eat healthy, and maybe we're trying to work out, and maybe we're trying to have friends. And, there's just so many things that we're doing. And so this, again, the intention is to really create a structure in your life that feels easeful and calm and just allows this feeling of harmony between these different aspects of your life versus feeling like you're barely making it. So the first thing I want to start with is that the frame of mind here is that you have to accept that there is never going to be a perfect work-life balance. I think that's the thing I've always struggled with is the word balance, because I think it creates a, what's the word I'm looking for? A notion, right? That things are always going to be perfectly balanced, right? And that's what we need to strive for. And I just want to just shut that whole thought out of your mind. It is never going to be that way, right? When you hear work-life balance, you probably imagine having like an extremely productive work day, and then you leave early to spend the other day, part of your day with your friends and family, and you go to bed, in this blissful happiness. And while this does seem ideal, it's not possible all the time. And what we're not doing here is we're not striving for perfection. We're not striving for the perfect schedule. We're striving for a realistic one. Some days you might be focusing more on work. Other days you might have more time and energy to pursue your hobbies. Sometimes you might have more days or more time to spend with loved ones. Balance is something that's achieved over time. It's not just a daily thing, right? So I think it's really important because I think what we don't need as another stressor to add. I got to create the perfect balance. And if I'm doing this, I'm not, right? We really just want to create this sense of reality that is achievable and doesn't feel like it is something that is well above what we're capable of. This is not a one-time fix. This is rather, it's like a cycle that must, be engaged in continuously because our circumstances and priorities evolve over time, right? Another way to look at this too is, if you don't like the word balance, is working towards harmony in your life. And harmony could mean that there's a pleasant combination of different aspects of your life that you feel aligned with and you're able to give your attention and energy to. It doesn't mean you're giving 25% to every single thing, right? But maybe for you, it's like if I could just carve out 30 minutes a week to engage in a hobby, that's enough for me. Then that's your balance, that's your harmony, right? No person's definition of harmony will be the same. So I just really want to remove the notion of perfect balance and know that it's a constant cycle and it's something that you just got to check yourself with on a fairly regular basis, knowing that what you or when you get to the place where you feel alive, where you feel aligned, where you feel calm, when you feel confident in how you're spending your time, then you're balanced. And you're going to have some days where you're not. You're like, holy crap, I had a 12-hour work day and I barely ate, right? But then you go, okay, but that's not my norm. That was an off day. Let's recalibrate, right, for the next day. So that's kind of what we're looking at here. So I just want to know, how does that make you feel? Like when you're thinking about this idea of like moving away from just trying to create a perfect like percentage of, time that you spend, but it's more about a sense of harmony, a sense of balance that is a constant cycle. It's a constant evolving, pattern that we are going to, we get to do, we get to engage with, we get to make the choice to do that. So I would love to know how you're feeling. I'm going to take a sip of coffee. Okay. So one of the things that we also want to remember, and then we'll talk about our first step for the day, is that this means it's important to remain fluid and constantly assess, not constantly, like every second, right? But consistently assess where you're at with your goals and priorities, which is what we're going to be talking about today. So for example, at times your children may need you more, and other times you may need to travel for work, but allowing yourself to remain open to redirecting and assessing and, your needs on any day, that's key to finding balance. Instead of just going through the motions and being on autopilot. And then, 2-3 weeks, you're like, oh my gosh, I feel like crap. I'm exhausted. Wonder why, blah, blah, blah. But if we're checking in with ourselves, that's going to be huge. So that is why we are going to start today by identifying what our priorities are. What are our priorities in our life? This is the first task, and this is one of the most important things that you can do to set yourself up for balance and harmony in your life. So the first thing I would like you to do, and you can pull out your workbook, you want to see, otherwise this is something that you can reflect on throughout your day today, is start by asking yourself, what really matters to you? And I know this is kind of an extreme question, but I think sometimes the next question I'm going to ask, we might struggle with this a little bit. I don't really know where to go. So I'm going to ask this to you in a couple of different ways. And so this is where you might want to have your workbook out or a notepad just to write these questions down so that when you sit with your workbook today, you can think of it from these different angles because different questions will hit people differently. So the first, what really, really matters to you? Another way to think of it is if you only had 6 months left to live, what would you choose to focus on? That can be a really big one, right? Paring away all the BS, all the stuff that you don't need. What if you knew you had limited time on this earth, what would you choose to focus on, right? The other thing that you could ask yourself is, what do you need in order to be the person that you want, right? So what are the things that you know that when you spend your time doing, that you focus on, you're your best version of yourself? Or it could be what makes you feel calm and at ease, right? What are you doing? And this might not be everything, right? But what are the things that when you're doing them, or the people that you're with, when you feel the most at ease and calm? Or last one is like, what makes you feel most alive, right? So just as we could do things that make us feel alive, We also have things that make us feel at peace and calm, right? And so, the things in our lives serve different purposes. Okay, so just to recap, a couple different ways you can ask yourself what your priorities are. What really matters to you? If you only had 6 months left to live, what would you choose to focus on? What do you need in order to be the person that you want? So again, what are the things that you do, the things that you engage in, the people you spend your time with when you're your best self? What makes you feel most calm and at ease? And what makes you feel alive? Those are some of the things that you can ask yourself. So I'm curious if any of these, any priorities are just popping up like right now, like as I was asking you these questions. I would love to hear. Terry, you said so many things to balance, overwhelming at times. Yes. So this is why this is such an important step, because what you'll learn is sometimes there's things that are in our lives and in our calendars that don't need to be there, right? So if we're really wanting to feel aligned and balanced, oftentimes we have to simplify and pare things away that are just really clogging up space, right? And so really identifying our priorities is a huge first step. And the next step that we're going to be talking about tomorrow will build upon this. So I'm definitely curious if any are popping up, and if that's okay if they're not. You may need some time to reflect on this. So what I would like you to do using the workbook or your own notebook or journal is to write your priorities down today. Try to keep it to 10, under 10, because usually then when we're getting above 10, it's kind of like, well, are these really priorities, right? Again, if you find yourself going past that, be like, 6 months left to live, like what would I really spend my time on, right? So relationships, activities, commitments to yourself, to others, community, things that light you up, your health. So there's definitely lots of different ways that you can go with this. So this awareness of what matters to you is going to begin to create seismic shifts in your life without you having to do a whole lot. So that's what's so cool about awareness of what matters to us. It does a lot of the work for us. The next steps come a bit more naturally if we have that self-awareness. Okay, so that is step 1 today, okay? So write these down. You'll want to have these for tomorrow so you can continue to build. And like I said, I'm going to give you the day. So I'm going to be posting later on today, probably around 5 p.m. MST, and just checking in, like throw out 1 to 3 that you discover that are priorities in your life. And what'll be really cool is just to see what we all have started to come up with. And then tomorrow we're going to take one more step forward based on that awareness of what our priorities are. So I am so pumped to see where this all takes you, and I'm really excited to hear what you all come up with. As we go through this challenge, if there's any people, any other mamas in your life that you're thinking could benefit from this challenge, invite them to the group. There is a little invite button in the top right of our main page, and it'll pull up your Facebook friend list, and you just give them a little check and a send, and then they decide whether or not they want to join. But this is not something you have to join live to get benefit from. You're going to be able to follow this on the replays and watch it when you have time, because I know we are busy, right? All right, everyone, I am so excited to go on this adventure with you this week. Again, please make sure you're commenting in the chat, and that way you also can get support from me in between our sessions, but also you have a chance to win an Amazon gift card. All right, everyone, you have a fabulous Monday. Rock that Monday. Enjoy your day, and I'll see you same time, same place tomorrow morning. Take care. And I was 18 minutes. I went over. I'll try not to do that tomorrow. Bye.